Okay, as promised, a video with some of this rearranging stuff that I asked you to do. So this is the sheet you were supposed to be working on. I did this first one in the last video, the video that I posted earlier. Okay, and then I said I would post another one with these others. So the second one wants you to rearrange for VF. So you want to get VF all by itself from A equals VF minus VI over delta T. So the first thing you would do would be multiply both sides by delta T. So multiply this side by delta T, multiply this side by delta T. And you'll have A delta T is equal to VF minus VI. You want to get the VF alone. What do you do to get rid of the VI? Well, it's subtracted from this side, so you need to add it. So add the VI to both sides. And when you do that, you end up with VI plus A delta T equals VF. I don't know about you, but I hate it when my unknown is on this side, so you don't have to, but I do, so I can sleep well later tonight. It'll be VF is equal to VI plus A delta T, and you've just rearranged. Okay, so this year, this semester, as we use these equations, what I'm always going to ask you to do is rearrange it for the thing that you're solving for before you fill the numbers in. So if you're solving for A, you don't have to do anything. But if you're solving for VI, then you're going to need to arrange it for VI, like we just did on the earlier one. Or if you're solving for VF, you're going to and then you'll fill the numbers in. And so the last one with this equation is solving for T. So you want to get T all by itself. It's on the bottom. So to get it off the bottom, multiply both sides by delta T. So you'll end up having A delta T is equal to VF minus VI, just like we did up there. But now you want the T alone, so what do you do to get rid of the A? Hopefully you're all answering divide. So divide both sides by A, and you end up with delta T is equal to VF minus VI over A. Okay, so hopefully that wasn't too tough. All right, the next equation is really your VAV equation from grade 10. Remember you had a VAV equation that looked like VAV is equal to delta D over delta T. This VI plus VF divided by 2, it's just V average, right? How do you find the average of anything? You add the two of them together and you divide by 2. So that's really what this is. And so the first one wants you to rearrange for VI. So to rearrange for VI, the first thing I would do would be to get rid of this delta T. This delta T is outside the bracket. If you want to get rid of it, divide both sides by delta T. And so it will become delta D over delta T is equal to VI plus VF over 2. Now, you can't take the VF over yet because you're over 2. You need to get rid of this 2. And you could have gotten rid of the 2 in the first step and the T in the second step. It doesn't really matter, but you need to get rid of the 2. So multiply both sides by 2. So now it becomes 2 delta D over delta T equals VI plus VF. And now to get the VI alone, you want to get rid of the VF, so just subtract it. So it'll be 2 delta D over delta T minus VF would equal VI. And again, so I could sleep well tonight, I would rewrite it with my VI at the beginning, but you really don't have to. Except for those of you that are too much like me and you know exactly what I mean. Okay? So that's rearranged for VI. Next one with the same equation, rearrange for VF. Well, really, we've done almost all of the work up here. The first few steps will be the same. Divide both sides by delta T, so that you end up with delta D over delta T is equal to VI plus VF over 2. And just like we did above, multiply both sides by 2 to get it off the bottom. So it becomes 2 delta D over delta T is equal to VI plus VF. Only difference this time is you want to be left with VF instead of VI. So up here we subtracted the VF, so we'd have the VI alone. So down here we're going to subtract the VI, so we'll have the VF alone. Right? So minus VI from both sides. And so it'll be 2 delta D over delta T minus VI this time. And that's going to equal VF. And I'm going to save a step and rewrite it. Write it at the front. Okay? And then the last one wants you to solve for T. So T's here on the top, and we want to get it by itself. You have a couple of options. You could just divide by this whole fraction, but then you'd end up with a fraction in a fraction, and you know in math that you're not allowed to have a fraction in a fraction. So I would probably first multiply both sides by 2. Because if you multiply both sides by 2, then you get 2 delta D, and this 2 on the bottom, because it's underneath everything and these are multiplied, it'll just cancel. And then you'll have VI plus VF times delta T. And then to get the delta T alone, divide by the bracket. VI plus VF on this side, VI plus VF on this side. This one will cancel. So you'll be left with delta T is equal to 2 delta D over VI plus VF. Now if you had divided by the bracket instead, so if you had done delta D over VI plus VF over 2 equals delta T, you might say you're done, but remember you can't leave it like this. So then you would have to flip it and multiply. Remember, dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. So you would flip and it would become 2 over VI plus VF times delta D, which would give you back exactly what we got here. So you would end up with the same thing no matter which way you go. All right, the next one is an equation that you haven't seen before, but you will. We'll learn it later in physics. So you don't have to worry about remembering it or anything like that right now. Just want you to practice rearranging it. So for the first part of this one, you want to get the VI alone. And so before you can get the VI alone, you have to get the term with VI in it alone, which means you need to get rid of this 1/2 A delta T squared. Well, this term is added to VI delta T, so to get rid of it, you would need to subtract it from both sides. So you would end up having delta D minus 1/2 A delta T squared is equal to VI delta T. And now what do you do to get the VI alone? Well, you have to get rid of the delta T. It's multiplied, so to get rid of it, you would divide it. Now, in this step, the T on this side with the VI will cancel. And I always have people that want to cancel this T with this T squared. But the delta D term doesn't have a T in it, and they're subtracted on the top. So you cannot cancel out that T. It's going to just be, putting my unknown on the left, of course, delta D minus 1/2 A delta T squared divided by delta T. And then you stop there. Okay, so that's the whole front side of your sheet done. Before the video runs out, because it only lets me do 2-minute ones, you probably have time to do maybe the first one on the back. So again, oops, get the paper in the screen. It's delta D is equal to VI delta T 1/2 A delta T squared. And this time it wants you to rearrange for A. So this time you want this term by itself, which means you need to get rid of the VI delta T. How do you get rid of it? Well, it's added, so you would subtract it. So delta D minus VI delta T is equal to 1/2 A delta T squared. Now you want to get rid of the 1/2. The easiest way to get rid of a fraction is to multiply by its opposite, its reciprocal, so multiply both sides by 2. So it'll become 2 delta D minus VI delta T is equal to A delta T squared, and then to get the A alone, divide by T squared. It'll cancel on this side, so you'll have A is equal to 2 delta D minus VI delta T over T squared.